My child, I know the pain you've been carrying in silence. I've seen you smile in public while your heart aches in private. I've watched you put on strength like a mask while you quietly wonder, did I miss it? Is it over for me? There are areas of your life you've stopped praying about, not because you no longer believe in me, but because disappointment slowly silenced your hope. You've convinced yourself to stop expecting. You've lowered your faith to match what didn't happen. And you've quietly told yourself, maybe I should just move on. But I speak to you now. Not with shame, but with truth. It's not over. It's not too late. I'm not finished with what I started in you. You've been measuring the future by what failed in the past. You've looked at closed doors, missed opportunities, and the heartbreak that seemed final. And you've assumed that restoration means going backward, that revival means recreating what once was. But my ways are not your ways. I do not restore by rewinding. I restore by redeeming. I do not bring back the old. I bring forth the better. The version of your future that I am preparing is not a copy of what was. It is a divine upgrade. It carries peace that pain cannot steal. It carries alignment that striving cannot manufacture. It carries fruit that only grows from deep surrender. You've been asking me, but God, why did you let it fall apart? Why didn't you intervene? And child, I hear your questions. I welcome them. You have not offended me with your disappointment. I sit with you in it. But let me tell you something your grief doesn't yet see. I did not stop the breaking because I was preparing the blessing. Sometimes I allow what is temporary to fall away so that what is eternal can be built. What you lost was not the end. It was the clearing, the removal, the tearing down of what could not carry what I'm about to place in your life. Yes, I saw how much you invested. I saw the love you poured in. I saw the effort, the prayer, the obedience, and none of it was wasted. Every tear you cried in faith became a seed. Every prayer you released without seeing results became a building block. Every act of surrender became a key to unlock what's next. I am not unjust. I have not overlooked your labor, and I have not ignored your loss. I've counted your tears. I've preserved your hope, and I've stored your faith like treasure. I know what it felt like when the relationship ended, when the business failed, when the door you waited on for years never opened. I know what it felt like when the dream you carried slowly faded, when others moved forward while you stayed still, when you had to smile while grieving a silent death inside. And still, you didn't walk away. You stayed. You trusted. You whispered, God, I don't understand, but I'm still here. That still here is what I'm honoring now. Because child, restoration is coming, but not in the form you expect. You think it will look like what you lost. But I tell you, it will look like what I promised, not what you pictured. You thought you needed that one opportunity, that one relationship, that one door. But I am not a limited God. I do not need to recycle what wounded you. I can create new rivers in the desert, new wine from broken vessels, new vision from what looked like failure. So don't weep for what I've removed. Don't cling to what I allowed to collapse. Don't try to rebuild the ashes. Let me breathe on them instead, because I am doing a new thing, and it is not dependent on the old being repaired. It is dependent on your willingness to release and receive. The restoration I'm bringing will redeem your losses, not by replacing them, but by transforming you. The real restoration is happening in your spirit, in your identity, in the way you trust me, in the way you love again after loss. That's the restoration no one sees, but it's the one I'm most proud of. I know the world taught you to be strong by holding on, but I teach my children to be strong by letting go. And you've been learning that, slowly, painfully, faithfully. And now you're almost ready. Ready to receive not what was lost, but what was preserved. What I've kept hidden. What I've reserved until your heart could hold it without fear. Until your character could protect it. Until your discernment could recognize it. Until your spirit could rejoice in it. What I'm bringing will make the pain make sense. What I'm unfolding will make the delay feel like mercy. What I'm about to release will remind you that I was never far. I was forming something holy in your waiting. You haven't been forgotten. You've been fortified. And what's coming will be sweeter, not because it's perfect, but because it came from me, not your striving. So breathe, my child. The chapter you closed in pain is not the end of your story. I'm about to write something so beautiful, so timely, so unexpected, that even you will say, only God could have done this. And I will smile, because that's exactly what I planned from the beginning. I never gave up on you. I never gave up on your promise. And now I ask you, will you believe again? My child, let me take you deeper into what restoration really looks like in my kingdom. You've seen restoration as getting back what you lost, but I see restoration as bringing forth what you never imagined. You've been focused on what slipped away. You've been mourning the version of life you thought you needed, but I haven't been working to rebuild your past. I've been working to awaken your future. What I'm about to give you will not simply replace what was broken. It will redefine what you believe is possible. Because when I restore, I do not give back in pieces, I give back in power. You prayed for me to fix things, but I've been preparing to reform things. You wanted me to bring certain people back. You wanted me to reopen certain doors. You wanted me to rewind to the life you once recognized. But child, I love you too much to let you settle for something small just because it's familiar. I've watched you grow through the waiting. I've watched your capacity expand. I've watched your priorities change, and now that you are no longer who you were, I will not bring you back to what once was. I will bring you into what you are now ready to carry. You've cried out for restoration, and I've heard you. But what you didn't realize is that while you were praying for me to rebuild the visible, I've been restoring the invisible. I've been healing your trust. I've been renewing your confidence. I've been replacing striving with stillness and fear with discernment. You've been looking for proof on the outside, but I've been doing my greatest work on the inside. Because true restoration doesn't start with what you have, it starts with who you are becoming. And child, you are becoming everything I always saw in you. You see, loss has a way of distorting your reflection. Pain has a way of making you think you are broken. Delay convinces you that you're disqualified. But I want you to see the truth. Nothing you've been through has disqualified you. In fact, it's only made you more dangerous to the enemy. Because now, you've seen what grief feels like. But it didn't stop your worship. You've felt what loneliness does, but it didn't shut your spirit down. You've walked through silence, but you kept seeking my voice. And that kind of resilience is rare. That's the kind of heart I can trust with more. You haven't been waiting in vain. You've been waiting in preparation. And soon, you'll see that what looked like years of nothing were years of deep alignment. I haven't been wasting your time. I've been preparing your time. So when the moment comes, and yes, it will come, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready to step into it without fear, ready to hold it without striving, ready to release it without attachment. Because you've learned that your peace doesn't come from what I give, it comes from who I am. There's a kind of restoration coming that will reach into every layer of your story. It won't just restore what you prayed for. It will restore the parts of you that stopped believing you were worthy of restoration. I'm not just restoring opportunities. I'm restoring hope. I'm not just restoring what was taken. I'm restoring what was broken inside of you when it was taken. That is the kind of restoration I offer, one that touches soul and spirit, body and purpose, identity and vision. It will be so complete, so holy, so personal, you'll know it could only have come from me. And when it comes, I want you to receive it with confidence. Don't question whether you deserve it. Don't push it away because of fear. Don't sabotage it by overthinking it. Just say, "Thank you, Lord. I receive what you've prepared for me." You don't need to be perfect to receive it. You just need to be present. I'm not looking for perfect vessels. I'm looking for available ones. And you, my child, are now available in a way you weren't before the breaking. This is what I've been waiting for. Not your performance, but your presence. Not your plans, but your posture. And your posture has changed. You no longer cling with desperation. You wait with expectation. You no longer beg. You believe. You no longer demand. You discern. That's how I know the restoration is near. You're no longer trying to control the outcome. You're simply trusting my goodness to bring it. And yes, I know the enemy has whispered lies to you in the quiet moments. He's tried to convince you that too much time has passed, that the damage is too deep, that the opportunity is gone. But I silence that lie now with my voice. I am the God of resurrection. I restore time. I redeem years. I recover what was stolen. I revive what others buried. I don't care how broken it looks. If I speak to it, it will live again. And child, I am speaking to the places inside of you that felt permanently shut down. Dreams you let die, desires you forgot, joy you thought would never return. I am breathing on them again. But don't look for them to return in the same form. The restoration I bring is rarely a replica. It's always a revelation.
It may not look like what you asked for, but it will feel like what your soul needed. It may not come through the person you expected, but it will bring the healing you prayed for. It may not open the door you were staring at, but it will take you through one that was created just for you. And when it happens, you'll understand why I let the waiting linger. You'll see why I didn't answer the first time. You'll realize that delay is not denial. It's divine protection and preparation. So now I ask you to make room. Make room in your spirit to receive. Make room in your mind to expect again. Make room in your calendar for peace to move in. Make room in your heart for joy to surprise you. You've made space for pain long enough. Now make space for the blessing. What's coming is not the result of your effort. It's the result of your surrender. And because you've released what you once gripped so tightly, your hands are now open to receive what I've been waiting to give. Stay soft, stay open, stay expectant. Restoration is not a myth. It's not just for others. It's for you. And this time, it won't be rushed. It won't be forced. It won't be fragile. It will be holy. It will be rooted. It will be lasting. Because it was born not from performance, but from presence. And now, my presence surrounds you, and my restoration is already moving toward you. My child, the moment is drawing near. I know it still feels fragile sometimes. You still question whether you're dreaming too big, trusting too far, hoping too deeply. But I speak to you now, not with vague encouragement, but with divine assurance. You will see my hand in what once felt like ruin. You will not just hear about my goodness, you will experience it. You will not just testify of my comfort, you will testify of my comeback power. What felt like an ending will become the greatest evidence that my word never returns void. I've watched you walk through the valley with your head down, thinking, maybe I'm forgotten. But I say to you, I never lost sight of you. I never stopped working behind the scenes. Every step, I was there. Every detour, I was present. Even in the places where you felt abandoned, my presence covered you. The silence was never distance. It was sacred. I was preparing you, not punishing you. And now the season is turning. You're about to see doors open with no effort. You're about to see peace return without explanation. You're about to watch me finish what I started, and do it in such a way that even you will be surprised by the goodness of it all. You've been asking me when. You've been looking for signs. You've been wondering how long you'll have to hold on. But child, it's not just about holding on. It's about learning to let go of every version of the outcome that isn't rooted in me. You've grown in that. You've matured. You've learned to release without bitterness, to hope without fear, to trust without proof. That's how I know you're ready. You're not waiting in anxiety anymore. You're waiting with authority. You don't need to chase signs anymore. You've become one. You are living proof that I sustain what I anoint, that I restore what the enemy thought he ruined, that I redeem the years that were lost, and I replace them with purpose so rich, even the pain can't steal it. I'm not going to just make it better. I'm going to make it new. A new chapter, a new strength, a new capacity to carry joy again without the shadow of fear. I know you're afraid to believe fully, because believing deeply makes disappointment harder. But I say to you, trust again, not in the outcome, but in me. I am not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to position yourself, position your heart to be open, position your eyes to see clearly, position your spirit to receive, not just answers, but rest, because the next part of your journey will be marked by movement, but not by striving. It will come with clarity, but not confusion, with new doors, but not overwhelming pressure. This restoration is wrapped in peace, and it will not drain you, it will nourish you. You're not walking into a test, you're walking into fulfillment, the kind that brings tears to your eyes and quiet joy to your soul. Not flashy, not dramatic, but deeply holy, sacred, rooted, and real. I don't restore to impress, I restore to complete. And what I'm completing now is not just your waiting, it's the full circle of what I began in you before time began. You were always going to get here.
You were always going to overcome. You were always going to bloom. Not in spite of the breaking, but because of it. And now I ask you to sit still for a moment. Let me pray over you, not just as your father, but as the one who never left. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let these words become the sound your soul holds on to in the coming days. Father, I thank you for your child who has walked through fire and still chosen faith. I thank you for their surrender, even when the outcome made no sense. I thank you for their heart, which has remained open even when disappointment tried to shut it down. And now, Lord, I pray for the full restoration of what was once lost, delayed, or broken. Not just the return of opportunity, but the return of hope, the return of vision, the return of confidence, the return of laughter. Restore their joy, God. Restore their peace. Restore the soft places of their heart that became guarded through grief. Unwrap the bandages they've quietly placed over old wounds and breathe life into every place that's gone numb. I speak life into what they thought was finished. I speak revival into the dry areas. I speak alignment over every detail of their life, in relationships, in purpose, in health, in calling. Let this not be a surface restoration, but a holy one that rewrites the narrative of pain into one of redemption. One that silences the voice of shame and amplifies the sound of your love. God, give them rest in their bones and clarity in their spirit. Release divine appointments that confirm what they've been sensing. Give them courage to walk through every open door. Surround them with people who see them through your eyes and speak life into their next chapter. And most of all, Father, I ask that you bless them with tangible evidence that you are still the God who restores. Let their life become a living testimony that nothing is too far gone for you to redeem. Let their story heal others. Let their journey bring glory to your name. And let them walk forward not in fear, but in faith, fully confident that what you started, you will finish, and what you allow to fall, you are always able to raise again. In Jesus' holy name, amen. If this word found you in a place of surrender, type, God, I receive your restoration, in the comments below. Like this video if the message touched something deep in your soul. Subscribe to God's Amen message so you never miss a word spoken in season. Share this with someone who feels like their story is over. Remind them it's just being rewritten by heaven. Come back again soon. The next word might be the one that releases your next step. You are not too far gone. You are not too late, and your restoration has already begun.